This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Yo, what is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? It is your boy Swank, the host of the K-Gun Report. Here we are sitting at Season 3, Episode 28. And we're going to talk a lot about this comment that Rob Mullen put out. Mistakes and missed opportunities are becoming a theme in our close losses. Just saying as an opening comment. You said it, I said it. We're going to get into this Miami game. We're going to talk a lot about injuries, and then we're going to preview this Baltimore game coming up. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget, if you leave a comment tonight, you're entered to win a Tremaine Edmonds signed mini helmet. So get on that. Tell all your friends. Don't tell your ex-wife. Here we go. And here we are. What is up, Bills Mafia? As I said, I'm your boy Swank. Right over here, holding up that glorious Tremaine Edmonds mini helmet. That's my boy Scooter Magooter. Tell him what's up, Scoot.
Hey, guys, it's a giveaway show. You comment during the live stream and you will be entered for your chance to win this Tremaine Edmonds mini helmet. We will spin the Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny next week to figure out who the winner is, but you have to leave a comment during the live stream. Good luck to everyone. Hey, guys. Tough week. Let's go, Bills.
Hey, thanks a lot, Scott. Thank you. Right down here below me is the twin terror, Mr. Jarrod Reed. Jarrod, what's up?
Welcome, Fandemonium. Welcome, FLX Mafia. Just camping out here in between Cuca, Seneca, and Canandaigua Lake. Yes, it was a rough weekend, but we're on to next week. Go Bills.
Well said. Just like our boy who's joining us tonight in the comments, Mr. John said, short memories, peeps, on to the Ravens. That is absolutely right. We got Landon Jones, a new name, saying go Bills. We got Joey Hatch saying Baltimore, here we come. We got Chris Benoit saying go Bills, or Benoit, depending on if you're French or not.
Oui.
Danielle Merchant saying go Bills. Lisa J. Rosh, love my Bills. Mike V, what's up, Mike V? What's up, Mafia? We got Derek Monroe. Bills will win Sunday. Quote the Raven. I like it.
That was a good one,
like
dude.
Danielle Lilly, what's up? We got a lot of new names here. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on your Tuesday night. Joey says, what up, Swank? What up, Joey? How are you, buddy?
Peter's here.
Yeah, Eater's here. Sign some
What's
fresh
up, Peter?
free agents. Heal up and bounce back. Go Bills. See them in December. That's right.
What's up, Joey?
We were just talking about which games we were going to try and attend, and that one was on the list, and I don't really know if I want to go, to be honest. I've had my fill of Miami fans already, but we'll see. We got Lonnie Cook. Oh, man, so many people. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. So on the docket,
Welcome.
we're going to talk about this Miami Dolphins game. I think we'll probably keep it pretty short and sweet here, but we got a lot of injuries and stuff like that to discuss. We're going to do Rattle the Reads. I got a familiar question for Rattle the Reads tonight. I think it'll be a good time. Then we're going to preview this Baltimore game. Lamar is a beast, and damn it, we're going to talk about it. And of course, along with your questions and comments, so keep those coming. And don't forget, anything you write enters you to win that Tremaine Edmonds mini helmet put up by our boy Scott, just for you people, because we love you. So,
Yes, we do.
Let us start with the heartbreak in Miami. This freaking game that if you guys are new to the show, man, I don't listen to Bills radio. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't go on Twitter. I abstain from a lot of Bills news for at least till right now, from Sunday till right now. So I have heard some things that I want to talk about, but Jarrod, let's start with you down there, man. And also I want to point out, Jerry, I move stuff around, so you're not getting blocked by the comments anymore.
Nice.
But Jarrod, what are your takeaways from this game this last week?
There is a lot to take away from this game this past weekend. And I've been thinking today, what do I want to talk about? And the big thing I want to talk about is our injuries. A lot of people are using our injuries as an excuse why we lost this game. But I have to sit back and look at how the overall game went. We had almost 500 yards to their 200. We had the ball for 40 minutes to their 20. They had one turnover on us. We had control of the game. We just missed on opportunities I think we left 24 points on the field. We left a field goal before half. We left a field goal at the end of the game. We left a touchdown on the last drive before the butt punt. We left Matt Milano interception on the field that would have changed the game. A lot of points were left. I don't think injuries. I think the players who played perfectly. I don't take injuries do play a part in the game, but I feel like it wasn't the issue this week. It was the way we finished the game.
Kyer Elam. I was just talking with your brother about this before we went live. Kyer Elam was in 66 passing downs between when week 1 and last week here, week 3. Over 3 weeks, 66 passing downs that he defended. 50 yards gained against him over 3 weeks. I think that he is doing an extraordinary job. So, just to your point.
Yep. He's looking sharp. And unfortunately, his sidekick over there in Benford with a broken hand, he's going to be out a couple weeks, and he wasn't looking that bad either.
No.
And then one more thing, if I could just jump in here really quick. The one thing I want to just remind people, and we always say this, is the first 4 weeks of the season is kind of like a preseason extended. So they're still trying to work out the kinks. They're still trying to figure out what's going on. And I feel like this was a prime example of what that was. We left 2 seconds on the field the whole game. We're 2 seconds behind. After this 4 weeks, I think maybe even this weekend against the Ravens, we'll pick up those 2 seconds and we'll get going from here.
I like it. Nicely put. Scott, what do you got for us?
Hey, I'm taking these guys played their asses off under extreme conditions of the heat of the sun in their face constantly. I will say it. I know a lot of Bills fans, podcasts, and all that stuff don't like to blame refs, but there was a lot of calls that could have been called. Notably, the Gabriel Davis catch in the end zone. What I saw was 2 hands grab a ball, pull it into the body for a football move, 2 feet landed. That should have been a touchdown. It was never reviewed. That's on McDermott and company. I don't know why they didn't challenge that, but I think that's one of those touchdowns, Jarrod, that you didn't mention that were left behind. But these guys did play their asses off. They had 17 rushes against, and I think they only gave up 2 yards a rush, and that's without Oliver and without Jordan Phillips, right? Jalen Waddle had 4 catches for 102 yards. One of those catches were for 50 yards. That's pretty amazing. Tyreek Hill was only only caught 2 balls with 33 yards. So this team played their asses off, and they played extremely well. They just couldn't finish. And like Jarrod, you said earlier, I'm not going to go over it. Just being able to finish the drives and catch up on those 2 seconds that they were missing on, that would made a whole bunch of a difference. I love the reaction of Dorsey at the end of the game. He's getting a lot of flack for the way he reacted from people that never played the game, from coaches. The guy played the game. He hates to lose just as much as anybody else does. And if you're not throwing a fit or pissed off at yourself or pissed off at the situation, and the only thing you got in front of you is papers, tear that all up, man. If you're not doing that, do you have a heartbeat? Do you even care about winning and losing? So I absolutely loved it. Like I said, he was getting flack for it, but I love to see that. And the players obviously love to see it because they've come out and said that. But lots to take from this game. It's one of those games, honestly, though, that I'm tired of seeing us lose. These close, I think we're 0-7, the stat shows, of close games within 1 possession. I'm tired of losing those games. And we mentioned in the preseason that to take that step forward, we got to win those games. And this was one of those games, and unfortunately, it was a divisional rival game.
I think this is the equivalent of the win game, like against New England last year. I think that the circumstances are ridiculous. I think it's funny that a lot of people, like you were saying, that some people have crowned the Dolphins number 1 in their power rankings just because
power rankings number 1 right now. That's crazy.
I don't understand that. Like, you can look at I know stats don't win games, right? But statistically, like, we owned the shit out of them, and whatever, man, you guys won, fine. I'm not like a crybaby. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, but I am going to say, maybe the NFL should start looking into some of this stuff. Like, I just saw our boy Josh Cook was down at the stadium at the game, and he said, yo, it was so hot in that stadium, and I was in the shade. Some of this juvenile, kindergarten, step up kind of like scenario things, like put the opposing team's bench in the direct sunlight on a 100-degree day. Their own guys were getting cramped up and heat exhaustion, all this stuff, and it's like, what is going on? Like, what are you proving by doing these kind of things? It's not a level playing ground. It's kind of like dirty pool to me. Like, I don't know, and I'm not complaining. I'm really not. I'm just saying that, like, I just want to see a football game that's called fairly, that's called evenly. That late hit on Milano was complete bullshit. I'll say that. And then, if you want to go beyond that, Tua racked his head. He came up, he couldn't walk, he was stumbling, he had to get escorted off the field. They said he was going back for a head injury. And then all of a sudden he comes back out on the field, and he's fine. He's cleared.
That's because the NFL saw how Bridgewater did his first possession, so they probably had somebody in there saying, "We got to get back in there."
It was mentioned on Twitter about his injury and how he should have been out, and a lot of Miami fans jumped on the Bills fans who said that and said, "You guys are just pissed because you lost." My thing is, back in the day when RG3 came in and he played and he twisted up his knee and they kept him in, he ended up ending his career pretty much off that play. If you really believe in Tua and you think he's your quarterback for the future, when you see your own quarterback getting dinged like that, you think you want him to sit. Josh Allen got dinged up last year. I was hoping he would sit as long as he could so he could get back from concussion protocol. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy. You got to protect your quarterback.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sorry.
Yeah, and the fact that they go ahead and label it a back injury that he tweaked early in the game, when you come up shaking your head and then you're wobbling.
Yeah.
Your back gives out. Okay, maybe you do fall down, but when you get back up and you're still doing the sideways twist and sidestep, there's no music. There might be music in your head. You're doing a two-step, but that's and whenever the NFL and the Miami Dolphins said before he went in the locker room that it was a concussion protocol.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell happened there. I know the Players Association is bringing that up and are fighting against it, and there might be some things that come up of it. So let's pay attention to see what happens in the NFL with that.
Hell yeah. So, Jarrod, tell us a little bit where you're sitting with all these injuries right now. What is going on, and what are we going to do?
I'm just checking Facebook really quick because it kicked me off the video, and I don't know how it looks for you guys. But
it's funny because like I'm trying to like figure that out. That's why I kicked it to you, so I can figure it out.
So
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we have some guys. Scott, you might be able to do this a little bit better than me. I didn't really get to look at it, but I know. Actually, yeah, Scott, just throw it to you. You probably got the injuries right there.
I don't have the updated injuries. I know there was a lot of Benford is out with a hand injury. We lost Doyle for the year for an ACL injury. The Bills just brought someone up via free agency who probably could do a good enough job to replace Doyle. But I don't know. We're hoping this week with Ed Oliver being a last minute cut, a last minute inactive, Jordan Phillips kind of being the same way. I'm hoping that our defensive line is coming back healthy for this Ravens game. But there was a lot of heat exhaustion, not injuries, but illnesses that followed the game. So until we see what happens tomorrow with the injury report, I have a feeling the list is going to be longer than it was last week. Mm-hmm. But we'll just keep a close eye on that because there was a lot of those heat illnesses going on.
Yeah, and quickly, McDermott said Ryan Bates is on concussion protocol. Tommy Doyle has torn ACL. He's out for the season, we know. And Jake Kumaro got hit on that knee, it looked like, going out of bounds. And I think they called that a high ankle spray. So that's going to be some time to watch. And then Benford's broken hand. He'll be out for quite a bit. Actually, not quite a bit. I think he's having surgery today. And then they're going to go from there. They said a couple weeks for that.
A couple weeks. See, the problem was with the heat exhaustion and all the stuff that these cornerbacks and our wide receivers are going through, it did not help that Kumaro came out with an injury because then the Bills only had 4. And that's why we saw Diggs cramping up at the end. That's why we had a lot of these guys cramping up and getting tired is because they could not be replaced. And with this offense out there running 90 plays, that's tough on these wide receivers because we passed the ball 63 of those times and they're running routes constantly. That's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick is Ken Dorsey. I hope he looks at the film and realizes that we've said it in preseason. I said it last week saying we don't need it, but it was obvious that we need some sort of run game when we're at second and goal at the 1 yard line and we can't do anything but pass the ball out of shotgun. That's something that has to be changed. If you have Moss back there, a Singletary, a guy that's very elusive, if he can't get a half a yard in 3 plays, then that line's got issues and your running back's got issues. And we all know that we have a good line and a good running back. So I think that hopefully that's something that Ken Dorsey looks back and says, maybe we should have ran the ball a couple times.
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny because I was watching like Brother Bill on Twitter a little bit while we were going, and he was saying something like when they ran Moss and he just got stonewalled like twice in a row. It was like, why do you even bother like running him? And he said he was like, please stop giving this guy the ball. And then he broke off that nice 40-yard run or whatever around the right side.
Mm-hmm. And he looked fast.
He did look fast, and it was good. I really think that this committee thing is done. I think you got to just hand it off to Motor and spell him with Moss and then throw Cook in for some gadget stuff. I think he looked all right when he was in there this weekend. He's gaining some confidence, obviously. It's just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You just need more consistency. I think a big tell for this whole thing, the O-line, man, is just, we need Mitch Morse back. Mitch Morse is a staple. And if you didn't think we needed him before Sunday, I think you've got your point proven. like nothing against VR there. He was doing what he could do. But how many of those snaps were low? How many messed up exchanges? Like, just so much stuff that was like, come on. Like, if you're the backup, and you got to get in there and you got to do your job. That is your job. You know what I mean? And you're a pro that's been in the NFL for all these years, and I know it's hot and I know whatever, but there's way too many injuries, way too much stuff going on. You need to make sure at least Josh gets the ball in his hand.
Right.
So, I don't know. Aside from the ragtag rotation of offensive linemen and wide receivers going in and out with cramping issues and, Josh Allen, that fumble, man, that sucked. I thought it was an incomplete pass at first. He was like motioning that. But he got, But if you look at any of these things, that fumble led to a touchdown. The missed field goal by Bass. The screwed up timing at the very end not to get out of bounds or to leave enough time on to spike it. I think Bass could have cracked that goddamn field goal from where he was, and that would have been the best way to end that game. Like in that moment. I mean, that's why Dorsey flipped out, because he knows that they can do it. They're just, they care so much about getting every single yard. Like, McKenzie, man, he was trying to get everything he could, and he just didn't have enough to get to the outside, or he wasn't thinking about it or whatever.
But I have a quick question. If he would have slid like a quarterback, would he have given up his time and he could have got up? Or is that only for quarterbacks?
You give up, ball's dead.
So
once
in
you slide
hindsight, he could have slid down and got up. But
any NFL player that gives up,
lots of things going through his head. Exactly. Yeah. He had 3 things going through his head at that time. So,
and let's not forget about that holding call that no one got to see replay about that knocked him back a bunch of yards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the refs.
Well, how about the groin grab? We haven't even talked about that.
The groin grab, the leg whip from Ingram that hit him in the groin. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. The manhandling of our wide receivers, they didn't show a lot of footage of our wide receivers being covered. The hit on Knox was a helmet to helmet. I don't care who you are. That you can't preach one thing for one team and then not the other. Milano just pushed Tua backwards. That was not a late hit. It is what it is. You have to call it, but
it doesn't matter.
It's just very, very questionable. Very questionable.
Yeah. So we can sit here and bullshit. I like to say welcome back to all of our family on Facebook here. Sorry, I don't know what the hell happened. I think we had too many and it crashed in. So that's awesome.
Kudos to you guys. Love it.
Just to make sure, if you left a comment on the other stream, there is a record of that. If you're leaving comments on this right now, you are entered to win this Tremaine Edmonds mini helmet signed with a COA put up by our boy Scott over there from his personal collection to you just for supporting the show and leaving a comment. We got Bills Maverick in the comments. What's up, Bills Maverick? How you doing, brother?
Highway to the danger zone.
All right, we got Ellen Lartz. So ready for the team to get the job done. We got Chris Christian. What's up, Chris, man? How have you been?
What's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Chris Buckner's here, too. Thanks for coming, bud.
Dude, just so many great peeps here. Rachel Mackey. Yeah. Oh, man. Josh
names
Cook
upon names.
Josh says trade Moss for Diggs' brother. Okay. the Cowboys might do it. I don't know. All right. So, you guys good with this game? Can we get off this?
Yeah, let's stop talking about this game.
We're done.
Hey, guys, I wore this shirt for a reason. I don't know if you could see it. It might be chilly.
Yeah.
I wore it for a reason. Miami Dolphins, we will see you in December. It's a TBD game, which is to be determined. It might be a primetime Saturday night game or 1 o'clock Sunday game. So we'll see you guys in December.
We'll see you right here. All
Might
right.
be chilly.
Listen, kiddies. Oh, Lady Bill says Lady Bills wants the helmet in all caps. I can't even imagine. I didn't think you'd want it.
I don't think she'd want that.
We got Mr. Brian Van Slyke. What's up, boys? Met up with your friends this weekend. Sweet dude. We told him to meet up with
Brian.
you for a good
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you, bud. I know they had a hell of a time down there, so thank you for showing them a great time.
Oh, hell yeah. And thanks for everybody for finding the stream back, man. We're back up to our numbers, so you guys are it. You are the shit. So, man, how many weeks have we been doing this now? Rattle the Reeds?
Oh, I don't know.
It's got to be 5 or 6, right?
5 or 6, maybe 7. I don't know. We'll have to go back. Rattle the Reeds is a segment where I get to stump the Reed twins right here, or try to anyway. Last week we did an interesting category, which was the top passing leaders thus far through 2 weeks of NFL football. It was a exciting, very educational list, and it was a lot of fun. So I thought I'd switch it up this week and do the passing leaders of 2022 through 3 weeks, because the list has changed. So, this week's Rattle the Reeds. I know it's a read-peat. Get it? Yeah. So, boys, who are the passing leaders up till week 3?
Scott, did you
boys
look it
up
up
top.
already?
Did I look it up already?
Yeah.
I
mean,
know,
today, like you did last week.
I know Josh Allen's on top.
He's
Josh
gotta be it.
Allen is on top, boys. The first quarterback to pass for 1,000 yards, 1,014 yards to be factual, and our boy's right up on top. Well, there was like over 500 yards of total offense this last Sunday, so it is, so.
Derek Carr still on there?
Derek Carr is number 9 on this list with 850.
Jalen Hurts is tearing it up. He's
Jalen
got to be
Hurts
on
is
there.
number 3. Can you get number 2 so I can uncover 1 through 3?
I can. This guy, he was it's Tua. He was up significantly last
That's
week.
right, buddy.
From what I remember, he still put up 183, which I think should be enough
Yes,
to
sir.
keep him at number 2
Right, because he was number 1 leading in. Okay.
925.
by a good amount.
925 he's at. And Jalen is at 916. Just for reference, Josh Allen is a good 89 yards ahead of Tua Tagovailoa right now. So
Nice.
If you bet $1 on FanDuel that Josh Allen will win the passing title this year, if you bet $1, you'll make 93 cents.
There you go.
Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow is number 10, so we can uncover number 10 and number 9. Because
Wow, I got the
Derek
last two.
Carr. There you go, buddy.
I know he's not on the list, but come on, guys. Did you see what's the dance move that they do? The diggy, whatever they call it. Mac
gritty?
Jones doing it. The gritty.
Mac is
Jones
actually
doing
number
it.
11 on this list, so we
is he?
just
missed it.
Yeah.
And then I see so many memes of him hopping off the field with the giddy going on. Like,
Yeah.
this-
Oh
man,
like
he's
the
a-
whitest, douchiest New England person in the whole entire world. Just
yeah.
Yo, he wasn't doing the gritty when he went off the field at the end of the game, though, did he?
No, he sure wasn't. Every bad team has a good quarterback that gets a lot of yards that they need to keep up with offensively, and that's Joe Flacco. He's probably still in there.
Joe
somewhere.
Flacco is number 5 with 901. Can you get number 4?
I think Flacco was number 4 last year, or last week, so we dropped one.
He's number 3, I think, last year.
Herbert's got to be still in there, right?
Herbert is number 4. Good job cheating and looking it up.
Jaguars one. Trevor Lawrence there? Is Trevor Lawrence in
Trevor
there?
Lawrence is not on this list, my friend, and he is, good Lord, where is he on this list? Number 13. He's not that far.
Okay. Well, big win against the Chargers.
Yeah,
For
huge
sure.
win. He's really turning it around, boy.
Mahomes still in there.
Yeah,
Yes, he is. He's number 8.
Winston's got to be there.
Winston is there. Give me one second. He is
Jameson.
number 7.
Who are we missing now?
Ooh, you're only missing
6?
one. Number 6.
Natty Ice.
No, sir. Not Matt Ryan. He's number 14. This person was on the list last week also. He's a traveled quarterback.
Kirk Cousins.
Not Kirk Cousins. He's number 16 with 758.
Wow, Kirk Cousins isn't on there, huh?
No.
You should play him in fantasy this week then. He's
Carson Wentz.
This Mr. Carson Wentz. That is.
I didn't want to say his name. The guy, he doesn't know how to get rid of the ball. So I figured he didn't have any passing yards this week. That was embarrassing. My best friend Josh Davies is a Commanders fan, and we had the game on the small TV. And God damn it, this guy does not know how to throw the ball away when you're getting sacked, man. Just do it. I don't know, man, if it's a pride thing or what. But so what else we got left?
That's it. You guys got them all. Josh, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Herbert, Flacco, Wentz, Winston, Mahomes, Carr, Burrow. And just for reference, let's see. Joe Burrow at number 10 has thrown for 812 yards. Josh Allen, 1,014. So 2,002 yards more than the 10th most, which is fun.
There was a question that came up a couple minutes ago. I saw. Are you guys concerned that Allen threw 60 times and we didn't really run the ball this past week?
Nope. I wish he would have thrown more.
I'm concerned. I believe this Buffalo Bills is a 6 to 10 play a drive offense. I think part of the trouble they got into is having these extended drives that lasted a long time with their up pace and their route running and the amount of passes they do. So I'm not concerned with 63 passes. I just wish they were over a span of 20 drives.
Right.
I tell you what, the game plan would have worked amazing in any other weather. That is exactly what I would have wanted to see. And I think if you took that factor out, obviously it didn't happen. That's fine. I mean, it sucks, but it's the game. But if it was not 100 degrees, I think that this game would have been a blowout.
Yep. I mean, we can go back to the points that were missed. There's 24 easy.
24 at least.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. I mean, God, you had stuff up, man. It got, I don't know about you guys, and I know that we're moving on, but, like, it got hard to watch. Like, all these guys just dropping. And, you know, you have linemen out there that, like, haven't played it down in, like, a long time. You know, and it was just, like, it was very disheartening. Seeing Stephon, like, go out cramping, come back in for a play, go back out cramping, like, just, it was misery, man. And I was, like, it got to a point where I was sitting there thinking, like, there is a lot of football left. Like, they made preventative measure, like, decisions, like not playing Jordan Poyer, not playing Ed Oliver, like things like that to ensure that they had longevity to get through the rest of the season. And then this shit is happening and you're like, oh my God, like who's going to play next week? You got the Ravens. Like, these are AFC teams that we got to beat. Like, you want that number 1 seed? We got to beat them, you know? So
you're right. If it was an NFC team, that's one thing. But these are teams that you're going to have to, by week 17, you're going to see that chart bouncing around saying this. They've got the leverage over this team. They've got more conference wins. It's huge. Lose those NFC games if you have to. You have to win these AFC matchups.
Yeah, and that was a problem last year, you know, in seeding and stuff like that. So I don't know. Hopefully, you know, things come together. It'd be nice to get some of that defense back. You know, I mean, right now it's not looking great. I don't know what somebody was asking about Dane. I don't think he's going to be back this week. Maybe. I mean, geez, miracles can happen. Look at Tua, you know. So I don't know.
From a back injury. Damn.
Yeah, back injury. A back injury makes you wobbly. Like, you just
and run 5 steps.
See straight, you know.
Swank broke his back. I think he knows what a back injury feels like.
Yeah, I was just saying that to Scott before we get in. Like, I broke my back 3 years ago in a car accident, and the adrenaline, I had enough adrenaline to where I didn't feel like kicked my door open, went over and checked on my buddy. By the time I got back around to the car, all of a sudden it wore off, and I couldn't stand, you know. And I was not ready to play a football game 2 hours later. Or like a half hour later for 2 more hours. Like, and I'm not saying it's the same injury. It's not, but like, if you were messed up that bad to where your back hurt so bad you couldn't walk off the field, you fell off the field, there's no way in hell that like you're good to go. There's just no
Mm-hmm.
way. They had to shoot him up with something.
Just
You know
look at the hit. His head, the back of his head hit the ground.
Yeah.
That's classic. That's classic concussion hit.
By a very aggressive personal foul by Milano. Very aggressive.
Oh, super aggressive. Over the top. Yeah, I think Facebook crashed again, so you guys can go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.
There you go. So, Jarrod, anything else you want to take out of this Miami game? I mean, we talked about the missed points, the injuries. I think it's time go ahead.
Just missed opportunity, and they'll make up for it next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Like last season, we had the turning point. Remember, the turning point was like week 9, when we had a big. What game was it? What game was it? Well, I can't remember. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We came back and we almost beat them. That was a turning point of this season. I think it's earlier this year. I think it's this Miami rivalry game that we just lost. That's the turning point. We're not going to go undefeated. That takes a little bit of weight off everybody. I don't think everybody's thinking about it. But now from here on out, you got smacked in the face. You missed your opportunities against the team you should have beat. Get your stuff together and go forward.
I think you're right. I mean, there's only been one team, two teams in the NFL that's gone through the full regular season undefeated. And, we take the loss as it is. It's a learning experience. But Miami Dolphins did it in 1972 and won a Super Bowl. And then the Patriots did it and lost in the Super Bowl. You're going to lose. So, the proof is in the pudding. You're going to lose a game, at least one game in the season. So you take it as a learning experience. You move on to the Baltimore Ravens. And the biggest thing is the bounce back. You're playing against a 2-1 Baltimore Ravens team now that Lamar Jackson is playing MVP football. And I think it's you have to win this game. You have to win this game.
Absolutely. All right. Listen, we're going live on Facebook here again. And
we're live.
Hold on. And we're live. We should be live. What's up, Facebook? I don't know what is happening right now on your platform, but there's some screwy stuff going on. So I just sent out the YouTube link. Thanks a lot to Rob Mullen for saying Facebook followers go to YouTube. If you're on Facebook and you're checking it out, do that because this thing is getting screwy.
Facebook doesn't like to see success.
Yeah, it's getting too good.
All thanks to you guys. Hey guys, if you come on YouTube, you can leave a comment there and you'll be entered to win that helmet. So
Josh Cook says the damn Dolphins are messing with the live stream.
Right, those high pitched frequencies are messing everything up.
Yeah, no doubt. Rob said the same thing. Chris said the same thing. Miami fans are reporting it. Could be, man. Brent says, and yet we're back. Yo, I put the YouTube link in the comments. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and click that and move over. Screw that, man, if it's going to get dumb. You know what I mean?
Yep, like Scott said, those comments still count. So YouTube comments will count. Bring your friends.
Since you're there, subscribe. Why
Yeah,
not?
subscribe, like, follow, do all that cool stuff. Yo, so let's move on to week 4. We're going to Baltimore on week 4. Oh, my goodness. And good goddamn, that boy Lamar is playing his ass off this year. I traded for him in my dynasty. Love it. He's been doing great. What should we watch out for when facing Lamar Jackson? Real quick, though. Buffalo Spartans here.
This is Sparta. What's up, Spartan?
All right, Scott, give it to us. What are we looking at when we go to Baltimore this week?
You see, it's one of those healthy things. If we were healthy, our roster looked the way it did in week 1, I think it would be just, listen, we have Lamar Jackson's number in the Baltimore Ravens. We've had it for years now. We figured it out. Just play our defense, play our offense. We'll be just fine. But on our defense, with all those injuries, Poyer and Hyde, the leaders back there, Trey White, they're not back there now. So now we're relying on what has been passed down to these young guys in regards to maintaining Lamar Jackson. I think he's obviously a threat, a former MVP. You can't deny that, and you can't deny what he's already doing this year. Great numbers, but our man Allen still has better numbers than he does right now. I think it's just one of those. I think our offense will be fine again. They're not going to be dealing with the heat and the cramping up and all that stuff. And I think Ken Dorsey might bring 6 or 7 receivers instead of just 5 this week. But I think again, I'll reiterate what I said last week. I'm not worried about the offense. It's the defense that I'm worried about with all the injuries and Lamar Jackson and how dangerous he could be. J.K. Dobbins might be back, who's a very dangerous running back, and when he's running on all cylinders, that's a very dangerous running football team. So I mentioned the safeties. Come in with a game plan, learn from Poyer Hyde and Trey White how to defend the Baltimore Ravens. And it's key. It's key with the way Russo is kicking ass this year. 3.5 sacks in the first 3 games, guys. He's on pace to hit 20, which is amazing for a second year guy. And Von Miller on the other side. Von Miller on the other side, I think that's going to be I'm not going to go over my key factors, but it's going to be big to contain. Contain's going to be the big word for the Lamar Jackson Baltimore Ravens offense.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're throwing, like you said, Russo, the length that he has is going to be a benefit, and Von Miller on the other side too. And then we'll see what happens with the middle 2 coming up this week. But if it's Oliver and Settle, if they're back and healthy, that's going to be huge. 4-man rush is going to be big time, and then maybe have a spy. It's going to be fun.
I was going to say, guys, is this a game that Milano or Edmonds are spying? Because what happens when you bring a spy that the zone defense that Leslie Frazier plays is going to be skewed a little bit. You may open up the middle of the field for those deep, skinny posts and all that stuff. So is the sky a risk you're going to take, or just hope that the defense maintains and contains the responsibilities on the edge?
Well, I mean, you're sacrificing that guy if that's what you're going to do, right? I almost think if you can contain him and keep that coverage, it's better. The front 4 have been amazing. I think we should be healthier. I think Eddie should be back. I think if you can keep Lamar in a box, you don't need to spy him. And who's the guy? Milano?
It depends on what scheme they do. I mean, they can mask it both sides. The Bills run the 4-2-5 defense, so whoever's the linebacker not covering the tight end or whatever, I mean, they can confuse Lamar by who's going to be spying and who's going to be covering Mark Andrews, who's a very dangerous tight end. So I would probably try to keep him guessing. I wouldn't have the same person spying every time.
Yeah, Lamar loves to throw to his tight ends. I think his first 3 touchdowns this past week were to the tight ends. So you might even see Taron Johnson spying with the 2 linebackers.
I was going to say, those maybe even Taron Johnson coming off the edge to create that outside pressure to flush out Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mark Andrews had 2 TDs last week, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, I was playing against him, but I had Lamar, so.
It's always nice when you have the quarterback that's throwing the ball.
Yeah. Them wide receivers, man, they seem to score more points on those plays, though, than, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They sure do.
Big up to our friends and family over on Facebook. We're at 78 viewers currently. And we've been experiencing some crash and burn. So please, if that happens again, don't be afraid to go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, follow. We have alternates there, Twitter, Twitch. Just please follow 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, and you'll be all set. Put that link back in the Facebook comments just in case you needed it. Thanks to all of our new viewers. If you're here right now and you're leaving a comment, you are entered to win this Tremaine Edmonds mini helmet right here that Scott's going to hold up right from his personal collection. It's got a COA, just our little gift from us to you for participating and being the best damn fan base a live stream can ask for. So, offensively, if we're looking at this from a standpoint of really evaluating last week going into this week, I think the name of the game is balance, and I think staying healthy. I really want to see clear, decisive decisions, not just from Josh. I think Josh has gotten way better about these things, but I want to see running backs picking lanes and hitting them. I want to see wide receivers running crisp routes. I want to see all of that buzzwordy, fundamental football that Sean McDermott's been preaching for 5 years now, 6 years. I want to see that come into play, and usually it does. Again, we had another extreme example this last week. But I think going into Baltimore, it's a hostile place. They've had a loss that was unexpected. I think they're going to be gunning for you. They think that you're weak. And you gotta have a solid plan. Just play solid fundamental football and beat their ass the way you know you can.
Yep.
Right. Finish in the red zone.
Well,
That's another huge
what might be beneficial this week is from the videos I've seen, that defensive line from Baltimore can be pushed back quite a bit. The offensive line from New England handled them pretty soundly. With the injuries that we have up front, I don't want to call them a weak defensive front, but facing a defensive front that can be pushed back with our backups in different spots might be beneficial to us. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think we're going to see 60 something passes attempted again. I hope not anyway, but whatever gets us the win is what we're going to go with, but we'll see what happens.
You never know what kind of game plan they went in with, knowing that what Miami did against Baltimore last week and knowing that our secondary was banged up. Ken Dorsey very well may have gone in thinking, I'm just going to pass all game because I think we're going to have to be going back and forth, a throwing match between Tua and Josh Allen, and he just didn't get away from that. I want to see something that reminds me of week 1, 55% pass, 45% run. Like Jarrod, you said it, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to mention the defensive line. They're playing another 3-4 defense. They played these guys a 3-4 defense 4 consecutive weeks. So the reads should be coming a little easier for Josh, the audibles. And I think with the line now, you could push back a little bit, even with the injuries, barring any more injuries. I think that's something that I'd like to see. A couple more deep balls, stretch the field a little bit, and let's get a couple more runs. Let's get the Singletary in double-digit running attempts.
I like it. Singletary, I heard you say.
Yes.
Singletary.
Singletary.
Singletary. Yeah.
Top 10 running back in the league in my book.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I mean, he's still, I mean, I don't have his stats in front of me. I'll look it up. But, like, he's never not been the guy that he is. Like, he's just never had the opportunities. He's never had the line. And now, supposedly, we have the line. And he's broke off some good runs. And he's still that dude chugging his legs at the end of every play. He's gaining an extra 2-3 yards at the end of each play after contact. And his heart is unmatched, man. I think he's your best bet right now. Until James Cook gets more in tune and adjusted to the game and the speed of the game, which it seems like he is doing. Man, lean on Singletary, give a couple guys some touches, a little bit of spell, give Moss his 5-10 touches, but you should be feeding Devin Singletary, man. He should get at least 20 touches a game, in my opinion.
He had a breakout receiving game this past week. I think career highs.
Yeah.
But the thing that excites me about Devin Singletary after watching him this past week is he is one hell of a pass blocker. Mm-hmm. And now you throw in his catching ability. It's going to make for setups that are going to be pretty amazing to watch coming out of the backfield, like screens, slip screens, fake blocks, dump overs. It's going to be interesting to see where his game evolves even more.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
So I'm looking at rushing yards right now. Devin's only got 80 rushing yards for the season. Is that true?
Yeah, 3.5 yard average. He started off hot against the Rams, and I don't think, like I said, it's a Ken Dorsey thing. I'm not seeing the correct plays. We're not seeing the same run plays being called or similar ones. Gilliam going in motion with a 12 personnel, and the quick outside zone runs. You're not seeing that in the last 2 weeks. So I think Ken Dorsey just needs, our bye week is week 7. I'd hate for him to wait that long, but I think with this kind of game, throwing the ball 63 times and still coming up with a loss, maybe something that triggers something to say, maybe we should go back to a game plan where it involves a run a little more. But you guys all saw it week 1. There were different looking run plays. Mm-hmm. And in the last 2 weeks, they become all too familiar looking like Dable's run plays. Not the offensive rush passing plays. I'm being specific to the run plays. They look very Dable-esque.
Chris Christian says Singletary does try to juke a little too much sometimes. Reminds me of Spiller when he does that. I don't see Singletary dancing quite as much.
Right.
And maybe that's something I'm missing, Chris. I actually think that Moss tries to make too many cuts sometimes, and he's too big of a body to be doing that. He needs to put his shoulder down and hit a hole, and that's it. I don't think he needs to do anything fancy. Singletary, I don't know. The only time I've really noticed him, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the comments and on the panel, it seems like where he gets caught up is when Josh makes the wrong RPO read and he hands him the ball when it's blown up.
And he takes a 2-3 yard loss.
Yeah.
Nope.
And,
You're right.
No, you're on it. You're on it, Swank.
It looks bad. You know,
Mm-hmm. In the last couple weeks, the RPO has looked delayed. It's supposed to be a snap, put the ball in his gut, and then make the read. But it seems like he's putting the ball out there, and it's not. There's a lack of connection, I think, with the RPO, the run pass offense option. And yeah, you're right. Singletary is not the beneficiary of that when he puts it in his gut and he drops 2-3 yards. That takes his average down big time.
And it's also when you're down to 2 or 3 seconds and they're hurrying too. I've noticed that. So whenever there's a stressful situation before the ball's handed off, it seems there's issues. If it's a clean play call, they go up, maybe make an audible, and they have plenty of time, the run seems to be successful. It's when they're hurrying or the exchange between Allen and him. Because I think Allen wants to take it sometimes too, and they're fighting.
Well, I think
when they drafted Singletary, they knew he was a one-cut running back. He was the most elusive running back in college. And they need to provide an offense and run game that allows him to do the one cut, not turn around and have to dance first before he can get up to speed to do the one cut. So I think it's offensive play call. Dorsey needs to figure out what plays you can utilize him better at, run the RPO faster, do the zone runs. That's the thing that will benefit Singletary.
Yeah, I think Josh is trying to do too much in some of those scenarios. I think he holds it in too long, and that's part of him. He wants to make every play a touchdown, and I love that about him. But this is kind of what you're going to get on the other end of that, where he'll hold it too long to see if anything's going to happen, and then that's where mistakes can happen. You got to do your 1-2 count, whatever it is, and either pull it or hand it. You know, the grass isn't always greener, right?
Right.
We got our boy Patrick Howell on the stream saying, yo,
what's
Deborah
up, Patrick?
Schaefer saying, hi, how's life treating you, Scott Reed? How is life?
Oh, very
treating you,
good.
Scott?
Very good. Thank you.
We got Paul Rossi making a great observation. Still not utilizing Knox in the passing game. I agree, man. I think he needs to get more looks. Sean Reeb. It's hard when the line is different 5 times in a game. Absolutely.
It is. Yep.
Good night, Ed. Thanks for joining us. Ed Schindler.
No.
Have a good night. Yeah, Knox has only got 11 targets for the first 3 games. I do find that very surprising. The guy had, I can't remember, 7 or 9 touchdown passes last year. I haven't seen the ball go his way in the red zone at all. So he does need to get involved. Didn't we re-sign him? No, he's someone that we still need to re-sign. Or did we re-sign him?
No, we extended him.
No, he extended him. So use him.
Yeah,
use him
absolutely.
His time will come.
We got some people talking about Blackshear getting called up and he didn't play. He's not on our team.
That happens.
He's not on our team anymore. So I think this is the point of the night where we're going to sit here and we're going to do our bold predictions. We'll run through those. And then
I like it.
We'll do a score prediction and an X factor after that. So, Jarrod Reed, what is your bold prediction for this weekend? Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens.
Buffalo Bills style. I feel like the offense plays mistake-free this weekend, and they're going to make up for the missed opportunities and lack of execution from this past week. They're going to learn from this loss against their AFC rival, and they're going to push forward. With that being said, are we doing score prediction? Did you say score prediction too?
I wanted to roll through our bold predictions first, and then we'll do a score and X factor.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Scott?
look for almost a flawless game by this offense again.
I like it. Scott, what do you got?
So, guys, we opened it up to Fandemonium for your bold predictions. This is kind of a prediction that not likely to happen, but it's bold. So go ahead and make it. It could be pretty outrageous if you'd like to make it that way. I'm going 4 sacks. 4 sacks this week between just the edge guys, between Russo and Von Miller. 3-1, 2-2. I don't care how it happens, but I think they do a good job containing Lamar, and I'm going to give them 4 sacks combined.
I like it.
I like that.
I'm going to say that these young safeties step up this week. I think Jordan might be ready to go, but I still think you're going to see a healthy rotation of DeMar Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson. and one of them is going to start, probably Jaquan Johnson. I think you're going to see these dudes come into their own. They had a hard week, and you got to remember last week, this team fought their ass off, and it just didn't go their way. For all the little critiques and things that we've been saying, you got a lot of young guys in there that did hold guys like Tyreek Hill to nothing. Jalen Waddle, aside from, one bomb and a TD. Did he have one of the TDs?
Yeah, he got a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
That was this close from being picked.
those two, the top 3 wide receivers in the league, both those guys are in the top 3. They're not 1. Stephon Diggs is number 1, so everybody just chill.
Don't forget that.
Don't forget that. Which I'm sure he'd much rather have the win. But, that's no small feat when you have Tre'Davious White out, Dane Jackson out, Micah Hyde out, Jordan Poyer out. Like, this was, as heartbreaking as it was a huge, huge step in moment, and probably the most extreme conditions that these guys are ever going to have to face against 2 of the fastest and best wide receivers in the NFL. We lost Facebook again just now, by the way. So I'm going to say you're going to see these safeties be a lot more comfortable in surroundings that aren't 100-degree heat. You're going to see them be hungry as hell and wanting to prove something more than they already proved. And I think that one game was worth 3 games of experience as far as battle testing.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
So I think you're going to see those safeties show out this week. That's my bold prediction.
There you go. I like it.
All right, Scott, give it to me. What do you got for score and X factor, buddy?
I think Bills left 24 points on the board, which would have put them at the 40 mark, which I am continually going to put them at until I see otherwise. Buffalo Bills, 42 points. Lamar Jackson, I think he's having a great year. He's making good reads. He's doing the right thing. I can't not give them points. I'm going to give them 14. So I'll go 42-14. I think Bills are coming in pissed. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think the Ravens have a defense that allows the big play. And I think Josh Allen's going to take advantage of all of that in our defense. Swank, you alluded to it. My bold prediction is alluding to it. 42-14. I'll go there. I will.
Nice. I like that. What do you got, Jerry?
Yeah, right off my bold prediction, I think this offense is going to go out there and execute flawlessly. 42-17 is my score prediction. Lamar's a great athlete. He's a great football player. He's going to put points on the board. But, yeah, I think, like what Scott said, they're going to come out with a little fire under their ass and get back to where the first 2 weeks were. 42-17 Buffalo Bills.
Pandemonium's got a lot of close games. 28-31, 31-17, 24-21. It could very well be that way. I like Chris Buckner's guess for his bold prediction. Gabe Davis, 4 touchdowns, 6 sacks, and 2 interceptions.
How's Gabe going to get 6 sacks and 2 interceptions?
Hey, man, he could do it all. I think Chris Buckner thinks he could do it all.
John Johns, Bills are pissed. 500-yard offense. Rousseau gets 3 sacks. Bills 42-27. Paulette, Bills 30, Ravens 17. Daniel Gorman, Elam's pick 6. I like that, dude.
Like that. Then he needs one.
Mike V wants a shootout, 42-38. Chris Farrow, 45-10, Ravens.
Like it.
Yeah, man. For me, so we're just doing scores and then we're going to go around and do X's. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
My score right here, you can see how productive that offense can be. They just need to finish, and they're going to finish. They finished the first 2 weeks. There's no reason to think they won't finish again now in normal temperatures. So, yeah, I'm going 45-13. This defense sucks. And I respect the hell out of Lamar, but our defense doesn't, even with a young secondary. So I think this is a harder game for Baltimore than it is for us. They don't have the wide receiver talent or depth to hang with us, especially when you have a crazy defensive line. And I think you are going to see some nice little creative blitz packages here against Mr. Lamar Jackson, which you're not supposed to do. But again, I'll say it. If you got Andrews and Bateman covered, I don't care. I think you got to rattle his cage, and like we say all the time, any quarterback can be rattled if you get to him enough. So that is my score prediction. Jarrod, X Factor.
Scott alluded to this earlier, and you just a little bit too, Swank. The rush, the outside edge, and the contained by Von Miller and Russo. They're going to be key factors to the success of the Buffalo Bills defense. If they can maintain Lamar, keep him in that pocket, which can crumble, and then the two guys in the middle just keep pushing straight back. That'll be what keeps the score lower for the Ravens. Again, our offense is going to take off. But the X factor is going to be Russo and Von Miller, and whatever edge comes in there to take over when they're taking a break.
Love it.
X factor.
X Factor.
Scooter.
Mine is actually the second level, Jarrod. It's Edmonds, Milano, and Taron Johnson. It's whoever has the assignment to either spy Lamar Jackson or blitz Lamar Jackson. Make sure you don't overrun him. Don't fall for any fake stuff. Keep your eyes on his hips and just go after the tackle. Don't fall for any of the jukes or any stuff like that. That's going to be huge, because if the defensive line can contain and do all that stuff, and the defensive tackles can make sure their gap responsibility is taken care of, and there's not big holes that Lamar can run up, I think it'll be an easier job for these three guys in the second level. So, and anytime it starts up front, goes in the middle, and anytime those guys are doing those jobs, the secondary will have an easier job. So I'm putting the responsibility of Lamar on those three guys. X Factor.
I like it. Well, my X Factor, boyos, is going to be on the offensive side of the ball, and it's a man that we've talked about not getting what he should be getting, and that is Mr. Dawson Knox. I think you see Dawson Knox with a 100-yard game, and I think he scores a touchdown. And I think that also allows for the ridiculous production that we want on the outside to continue flowing. I don't know what this wide receiver room's going to look like with the way everything's kind of shaped up after all this heat stuff and injuries and whatever. I'm hoping a lot of it's cramping. But who knows, man? It kind of scares me to see what this injury report's going to look like. I think the one going into the game was bad enough, and now I'm just like, have no idea what to expect. So I think utilizing somebody that is a constant staple that you can get going, like, it's time now. We're in the fourth game of the season. Let's go. Like, you extended him, you paid him, throw him the fucking ball. So he's my X factor. 100 yards, 1 TD.
There you go. God, gosh darn it. Get Khalil Shakir involved.
It'd be nice to see him pulled up, right? Why not?
It would. Yep. I'd like to see him out there.
Chances are high, I think, this week.
I think you said that last week, too.
Chances are high.
Chances are. Chances are. All right, what we got for pick'ems?
Oh, yeah.
Miami's going to Cincinnati. Actually, Swank, you're 10-5. Scott, you're 9-6, and I'm sitting there at 6-9. Falling behind slowly.
Say it again, buddy. Say it again.
6-9. I don't know why that's funny.
Yeah, you do.
So Miami's going to Cincinnati. Can they continue their streak and go 4-0 for the first quarter of the season?
My late 80s Hollywood ass looking idiot friend Joe Burrow is going to beat them, and that'll be fine with me. So I'm going Cincinnati.
I'm going Bengals. Miami's not going to be able to face a depleted secondary like they did against the Ravens. The guys just fell apart in the fourth quarter, and obviously our injury-riddled secondary of the Buffalo Bills. They're not going to be able to get away with it this week against the Bengals, who has a pretty good defense. So I'm going Bengals. And you know what? The Players Association might get their way, and you might see that Tua won't be playing this game.
That is something else we didn't talk about. I found a video online where they were talking about how they could get to a point where they take the win away from them because they did
Yeah.
not follow NFL protocol.
Really?
And it's that serious. Yeah. And not that we want to win that way, but I'll take it. I don't care.
Yeah, it'd be considered a forfeit, and that would give us the automatic win.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's kind of.
Well, go back and look at the video, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's apparent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think if that's going to happen, they got to do it
Now.
before Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do it in 4 weeks or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, yeah. All right.
Yeah. We got a lot of Cincinnati's.
Tons of Cincinnati.
Jets are going to Pittsburgh to play in the Steelers. Jets versus Steelers.
Me
I'll
again?
lead the way with.
Oh, you go?
I'll go
Okay.
first just because you guys went first last time. I think that the Jets are going to win this one.
Mm. A little smirk from Scott. His face went like straight in the camera. Oh my God. Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
We are there. We are in overtime.
Here we go.
I'm going to hype up the next week's game a little bit, Jared. I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Jets. That way, when they come to Buffalo, they're riding high on something.
Oh, there you go. You know, Mitch isn't like, he's not going to be riding high enough, like going back home to get his ass beat.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to
Yeah.
pick the Jets. I do. But I don't know. Watt's not. Yeah, I'm going Jets. I'll go Jets.
All right. There you go.
All right. And the last.
Patrick Howe says over and under on Josh getting his nuts tickled again.
He got kneed in nuts by that leg sweep, and then that Wilkinson thing they gotta.
He's
So
notorious for
frustration.
it. He's notorious for it. We've seen video of him in college doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, man.
Christian, I think he's talking to you, Jared. You're gonna go 6-10 with that Jets prediction, brother.
Hey, it's still only week 4. Okay, that's my preseason too. I still got
There
to
you
work
go.
out the kinks.
Still learning.
All right, so the last AFC East game is going to be the New England Patriots are going to Green Bay to play Packers.
Who's their backup? Like Max not
Hoyer?
playing, right?
Hoyer?
Oh, is it Brian Hoyer?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Might be better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Grogan.
Yeah, Packers. I'm going Packers.
Yeah, pack from
Yep, I'm going Pack too.
Go
We're not
Pack,
going to
go.
separate too much this week. There you go. Now we have toilet bowl, Swank. You got 2 or you want to do 1?
Let's do 2. 2 are fun, man. Let's go. I like doing AFC one. So we're definitely doing Titans Colts, which is fun that's a toilet bowl when we all thought that those two teams were going to be competitive. And then,
Colts, man, beating the Chiefs. I think they're going to be riding high on that. I'm not sure if it's going to be an overconfidence thing or not, but I'm going to have them keep rolling there. Frank Reich's got them going in the right direction. Go Colts.
Ooh. I think Matty Ice is Matty Icy Hot is what I've been calling him, and he's getting cut from my 24/7 fantasy league very soon. So feel free to pick him up. I'm going Titans and that Dracula ass looking Ryan Tannehill leading the way.
There you go.
I'm going Tennessee Titans as well. I think that's also going to boost up the strength of schedule when we need it.
Nice. Ooh, let's see. I've been struggling here with this.
Jared's already talking about strength of schedule for playoff appearances. That's awesome.
I love it. Oh man,
We're going to shit if Miami goes 4-0, guys. It's going to be tough. I mean, they got an easy schedule going on for like the next 6 weeks where they can easily go 9-1, 8-2, 10-0. So
They're not that good.
I know.
I
hope you're
know.
right.
You surrender so quick, Jerry. You got to be like, no.
Well, they aren't that good, but their schedule looks weak.
Oh, Jim, but consider this. You have to consider what the Bills brought to Miami, and they still only lost by 2. I know I was confident in my on Sunday sessions about what I said about the Miami Dolphins, but I'm still there. You have to worry. 200 total yards offense against a banged up defense with no answers other than a 50-yard pass completion and a turnover that led to another touchdown. That's all. They have a lot to worry about. 3-0 is nothing right now. It's too early in the league to even crown them. Every game is going to be tough for them. They're not. I don't think they're that good.
Dolphins?
Yeah. No way.
They're not that good.
Nope.
All right, we're going to go Broncos Raiders, and I know the Broncos have a winning record, but I think that they have been less than as expected, and the Raiders, oh my God. Like, can we talk about this division that we thought was going to be like a powerhouse dominant, like, oh my God, the AFC West. And it's
the cannibal division where they were just going to beat each other up and have such good records that were, yeah. I am surprised at what Denver and the Raiders are putting out on the field. I'm surprised that the Raiders are 0-3. I'm going to give them their first win, though.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm a huge Derek Carr fan. He deserves it. He's got a wide receiver, a tight end. He's got everything he needs. Just put it together, man.
What do you think, Jerry?
I agree. I think the Raiders are going to pull something together. It's funny you say they're going to beat themselves up throughout the division, and they really haven't played each other yet. So that's going to be you might see an 8-9 and 9-8 team coming out of there in the playoffs for their seed. But no, actually, I'm going to go with Denver. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Oh, good. Because I'm going to go with the Raiders.
You going with Raiders?
Yeah, it's got to happen sometime.
They're due.
I think it's funny, man. So the Chargers lost to the Chiefs week 1, right? Wasn't that it, or week 2? Week 1.
Yep.
And then the Chargers have that embarrassing loss to the Jaguars. And then the Chiefs have an embarrassing loss to the Colts. And right now, we're sitting there. We had, I mean, I guess you can call it embarrassing. I think if you talk to a Miami fan, they would probably say that. I don't think so. I think it was a really hard-fought, difficult game. Hey, man, unlock your car. I think, the Bills are sitting there at 2-1. The Chiefs have a worse loss than the Bills do. At least the Dolphins are a contender. The Colts are nothing right now. And that's it.
Right.
And then the Chargers, I don't know what you're going to get now with his ribs all messed up. So it's just interesting. And man, the Raiders can't squeak one out. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders were a hot team coming into this season, and the fact that they're 0-3 is just, it's crazy. It's a weird league. This NFL's any given Sunday.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And right to what you're saying. I mean, we lost by 2 points to Miami. It was a good game, but why isn't anybody talking about how Kansas City just got knocked the hell out? You know what I mean?
Because it's more interesting of a story that the Bills have climbed up to these ranks, and then they had, some bad circumstances, or like a ridiculous, it was just whatever. No, you're right. Well, I don't know. You could be wrong because I haven't watched anything. Like I shut down. I'm like, nope, done. I don't want to see highlights. I don't want to see nothing. But I haven't heard a whole lot about, is Mahomes deteriorating? Are the Colts the next championship team? Like nothing. Like it's all about the Bills dropping an opportunity and like, oh man, look at all these close games that they've lost and blah 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 blah. I mean, Josh Allen has a winning record in the NFL. Sean McDermott has a winning record in the NFL. Like multiple playoff appearances. What are you comparing right now? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's a bigger deal. Mahomes won a Super Bowl. Mahomes is going to be fine without Tyreek Hill. Look at him. He's burning everybody. Where the hell is all that talk, dude? The guy the golden child that never makes a mistake threw a horrible pick to end the game. I don't know. It just, here it is, Josh Allen has one bad game, which he threw like over 500 yards of offense. I guess that's a bad game. He lost one fumble. I don't know. Right back to it,
There's about 25 other quarterbacks that would love that bad game as a stat line every week.
Sure. I take it every week.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, boys. 9/11 right now. Let's get these final thoughts and get the hell out of Dodge. Jarrod?
Week 4 coming up against the Baltimore Ravens. Another AFC game that it's a must win when you're talking about playoff seeding and stuff like that. But sit back, don't blink, enjoy the season. It was a tough one this past week, but you got to keep moving forward. You know what? The Bills players are, the coaches are, Ken Dorsey is moving forward. And that's what we have to do as a fan base too. We can bite the pill for one day, 24 hours, and it hurts a little bit as fans. But let's just keep rooting these guys on. They are a good team. Swank says it week in and week out. We have a good football team. They just slipped a little bit. Look for a comeback game that's going to knock your shoes off this coming up week against the Ravens. Bills by a billion. See you next Tuesday. Go Bills.
Nice. Scooter.
All right. Playoffs. You're working right now to get to the playoffs. That's it. You can't make the Super Bowl without making the playoffs. You don't need to go undefeated to make the playoffs. 2 teams have made it to the Super Bowl going undefeated. Only one's won it. A loss is a loss. You take it as it is. You take it as a learning experience. And your main goal right now is to win that AFC East and make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is number 1 seed. Number 3 goal is to make it to the Super Bowl. Number 4 is to win a Super Bowl. Let's focus on number 1 first. Okay? We lost a game. We got to play how many more? 14 more? Come on. We got this. Relax. Bills get healthy. Fans get healthy emotionally. We'll be there to support them on Sunday and hope that they come out 3-1 going to play Pittsburgh the next week. Tune in on Sunday at 11:30 for the Sunday sessions as we do our pregame show with Ryan Thomas from the Ryan Thomas Sports Podcast and Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I'm sorry, Ryan. Come and hang out with us. We'll talk about actives, inactives, and we'll do some finishing touches on the game before it starts for sure. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Love it. Love the participation. Love the banter. Hey, get healthy, everyone. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Oh, man. You guys are so good at final thoughts. Wow.
Wow.
Cherish it. Cherish every moment. I say it almost every week. We are a good team. Cherish it. That was a hard loss to watch, but I'll tell you, there was still a lot of years where we couldn't just know that we were in a game down to the last second, right? Like, I mean, even that is something to be proud of. Of course, we all would want it to have gone the other way. I think this week you see it go the other way. We're going to get back on track. A big AFC opponent. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. 2 of the best quarterbacks in the whole league going off against each other. And I bet that they come out on top. You can join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the K-Gun Report right here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and apparently sometimes Facebook. I'm really sorry about whatever the hell was going on over there tonight. But you can also catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, anywhere that you get your audio podcast listening from. Yeah, check out Sunday sessions. We'll be on again 11:30 to 12:30 this Sunday. And, man, keep your heads up. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group that